I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this one.
I get soft like a sailor snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.
Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And today, we are going to continue to delve into the past of the New Age spirituality by having a discussion about Aleister Crowley and his creation of Thelema.
I read it as Thelma, but then as I was reading it, I sounded like I was Mike Tyson saying Thelma.
I don't know. I like Thelema. I think
that's beautiful. I really do.
Yeah, and Thelema is Greek for the will, and essentially it kind of equates to divine will.
Okay.
Inner will.
That makes a lot more sense.
The will of.
Because I read that one of the things that he promoted was
do as thou will.
Yes.
Do as thou wilt is the beginning. However, it is followed up with the will is love. So it's not just it's not like Satanism where it's do what you want.
I am so excited to do these episodes because
I know it's learning so much.
Well, and they all fall hand in hand. So you've got the way, if harm done, do what ye will. So this one is do what ye will, but the will is love, right?
Yeah, basically.
So,
or I'm sorry, do what ye will is the law. The law is love.
Yes. Okay.
So you can do whatever. Basically, the concept behind Thelema, or Thelema, whatever, however you say it. I like Thelema. I'm going to say Thelema.
That's fine. I like that
one. Thelma's funnier, but... but the basis is just to live your life as your true self. And through that, you are adding goodness to the world, which follows the Theosophical Society vision very well from I like the way that it goes from Helena Blavatsky, who was the first one to merge the Eastern religions into the Western religions. Now, a lot of people credit Aleister Crowley with that, but as we know from last month's episode on Miss Blavatsky,
she was first.
And he is Aleister Crowley is almost like the hedonistic version. So let's, we got a little into Thelema, as I said what the word meant, but let's get into Aleister Crowley and him as a kid. So Aleister Crowley was born in 1875, which means he was 13 years old in London, England, when the Jack the Ripper murders happened. I found that highly interesting how these go together. Just as well.
Interesting. I did not. That's insane.
I didn't realize it until I was doing my research that the overlaps, right? So this is the London that he's born into, right?
But
it's
he's
a very
not
dichotomous. He's in a privileged kind of family.
Yes.
He is not living the East End life, but that dichotomy is the London he grew up in. Because if you checked out last episode, and if you haven't yet, go listen to it when you're done with this one. But the Jack the Ripper murders brought about to high society a recognition of what was happening to low society in places like London's East End, Whitechapel, that kind of thing, right? So Aleister Crowley is born to a very religious. They're they're not strictly Christian. They're a different kind of Christianity. It's like a not non-orthodox. What's the word I'm looking for? Not non-denominational. It's just it's a different kind of. It's
not Pentecostal,
right? But it's not Martin Luther, but that kind of thing. It's not like regular Christian church, but they were really religious. Yeah, it's a branch of Christianity. They were very religious, though. His father was a pastor, and apparently, when his father died, it's like he lost his faith in God, and he changed.
Oh, that's so sad.
He also apparently was really shitty to his mom. Fuck you, dude.
That's rude.
Sorry, Mr. Crowley.
Crowley. I have to ask. I might as well while we're on the episode. Why are those paintings covered?
Oh, they're Christmas ornaments. So
okay, so they're not real paintings?
They are. So at Christmas time, and I just haven't unwrapped them yet because I'm lazy. A lot of times we will wrap the paintings that are on the walls in Christmas
look
paper,
like Christmas
to look like
paintings.
gifts.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was something like that.
Yeah,
but
quite often we'll put bows and stuff on them, but this year we were way behind on things. So
that
we
is
just
so
wrapped them.
cute.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's what it was, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Literally
Normally I might have
amazing.
wrapped more of them, but anything that had any pink in it, because Lolly wanted that pink Christmas theme going on.
Yes, that's
I
what we're
didn't-
doing next year.
Yeah, I didn't wrap anything that had pink.
Love
just in it.
pastel Christmas.
Yeah. we called it Candy King Christmas, or Candyland Christmas.
Love
was
that
it?
too.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, the point
Hmm.
is Aleister Crowley. Back to Aleister Crowley, guys.
Yeah, so he was highly religious when growing up. When his pastor father died, he started becoming very different, and he expanded his views, and he was really, really crappy to his mom, according to him, and I presume other people. But when you self-admittedly say you treated your mom like a servant,
Then
I'm going to believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
That, or you're trying to be boastful, which I could also believe, because he does seem to be very much the kind of
That
boastful type.
Yeah.
But in his youth, he spent a lot of time hiking. He lived off of his inheritance a lot. He lived through his inheritance a lot. So he got to travel very much like Miss Blavatsky did.
Fucking asshole.
But he didn't travel in the same way. Like, again, he started out by, like, being a hiker. By the time he married his first wife, he was already interested in the occult and spiritualism, and they honeymooned in Egypt.
Yes, I saw that. I'm so jealous because if you go to Egypt during that time, that's when they're discovering all the
wild.
fucking mummies,
they-
and they're like, "Oh my god!"
They, like, rented out the king's chamber.
I
and
know! I
did
would
a
love-
fucking ritual there where his wife, according to her, she was taken over by what he was summoning. And at first he thought she was teasing him, and then he absolutely believed it, and she led him to something that she would never have known about. Like, led him through Cairo or wherever the fuck in Egypt they were.
I'm just saying,
Like, to a thing.
That time period for Egypt. When did this? Was this like the 20s or the 30s at this point?
The
40s?
very late. I mean, it had to be before 1919. I know that.
Before 1990. Either way, this is the point where they were finding all the mummies and they were finding all the. They were
It was
looking.
the heyday for people to rape Egypt.
Literally, like
Totally rape
the
Egypt.
mummy itself takes place in like the 40s. Fuck yeah, dude. Like, would I visit Egypt today? Probably not. Would I visit Egypt back then? Yeah. Like, what? Oh, I'm British. I'm not scared. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared.
It's so controversial because, like, I mean,
it was shitty.
It was just, I mean, it was like grape jellied. I mean, like the amount of graping going on
in Egypt.
To the land, like
to the land. Oh my god, no, you are absolutely right.
So I'm like,
it belongs to a museum.
Man, it's rough.
I know. I guess,
and that's why they don't.
I hope I don't sound shitty by saying.
No, I get you.
But like,
I'm just saying, like, it's hard. It's very controversial.
The style, and then the fact that they're finding all these things, and it's just like, oh, but then like all history, it's not as romantic as you think it is.
Not from that aspect, but I mean, like, from strictly Crowley's story. I mean, he took a lot from Egypt, right? And he took a lot from Egyptology. Like, he very much, like, his writings and his creation of Thelema, they are very Egyptian-centric, and at the same time, very much not anti-Christian from a shitty, like, being mean to Christianity, although I'm sure Christians would definitely not see it that way, but like he was the self-proclaimed Antichrist, and so it was like this very much like this dichotomy of people accused him of being like Satan, and he was like, sure, I'll embody that because like there are good things about Satan, and and
I really don't think I don't think he was being like too shitty about that, but I don't think he was being ironic about it, but I don't think he was being like, I am like Satan, right? You know what I mean? Like, I think he was like explaining things that people refuse to listen because they hear, like, oh, you are like this. Well, then this, instead of listening to the whole thing.
Basically, he's in the late 1800s, early 1900s, saying some of the stuff we say on this show, like Satan's not like Satan's the guy that gave knowledge to people.
Mhm.
How bad is that?
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
brought the knowing,
And
to
then,
people.
of course, back then people were like,
"Oh, that's
fucking
like
God,"
Satanism didn't exist yet, but they were like, that's Satanism, like
Mhm.
the same reaction kind of
Right,
thing. You know what I
right.
mean?
Well,
And he did seem to be like that type that pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and, wait. Are we still recording?
Yeah, I mean, it says stop recording, so as far as I know, we are
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm still getting used to this new
Me too, because
software.
I don't know if it stopped recording in the middle of an episode before.
I don't think so. Not yet. I mean, it hasn't yet. I assume
sorry.
it would just stop or give us a notice that we're like running out of space. I'm not sure.
I looked at the one that said 000, not the red dot.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I didn't even
So
see
you
that.
say it's very Egyptian, and like, doesn't he talk about something like the Age of Horus?
He talks about the age of Isis, the age of Horus, the age of Osiris.
So these are all Egyptian gods, right?
And he believes that, that he has summoned Thoth, and he tried to summon, I'm not sure if he tried to summon, but with his first wife that she
So these are
embodied.
deities. These aren't demons that he's summoning.
At this
point in life.
Well, no. He's also summoning demons at this point as well. Okay. These specific things are he's summoning Egyptian
So did he say
things, but he definitely so you had said like he's very gray, right? And I think he sees things in a very gray manner. I don't think he sees this is a demon and this is a god. He sees these are spirits. These are entities. He summoned an air slip.
Like, I think people need to, realize that demons are not, when they hear demons, they think Ghost with Patrick Swayze taking off, Carl, or that guy that got hit by a bus. I feel like a lot of people think of that, or they think something very scary. When demons, if you go into demonology, they have their own individual personalities, they are their own. I don't like the term deity. I guess entity would be the proper word. I mean, there are demons that look like owls. There are demons that look like lizards. And I say that, and what do the Egyptian gods look like?
Mm-hmm.
They
owls, look like human-animal hybrids.
Yes, exactly. No, I can't say that, because I say that and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not trying to agree with the Christians that say Egyptian gods are demons. But then I'm also like...
yes, minus the Christian thing, because I don't think that at all. But so, it's more of a thing from the standpoint of the things that were just mentioned: bird heads, lizards, hawks, owls,
animals.
These demons look like them, but are they them? Just like these deities may look like a thing with a bird head, but is it a human body with a bird head? No, it is the goddess Isis. I'm pretty sure. She's got the little blue and white bird head, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So I personally do not take it to be that you were comparing them. Maybe that is a thought process, but that is not what I was taking it to be, because neither the goddess Isis is a falcon head and a woman body. It is the goddess Isis that is an entity unto herself, or itself. As far as I know, it is a woman. So we're gonna say herself, and I hope I'm not wrong.
Feminine energy,
right?
I mean, goddesses.
Well, because in Egyptology, everything there's a male and female counter to all the way down. You know what I mean? So
with the two energies, the male, masculine versus the feminine. So
then, from the demon standpoint, just like Isis as herself is what she is, these demons may look like owls, but it's not an owl. It looks like an owl. You know what I'm saying? So that is how I took it. I did not take it to be like you are comparing these deities to demons.
Thank you, because I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone.
Right, yeah, no, and I mean, and in just the way that I just said that, I think that's exactly how Aleister Crowley experienced these things, because he did summon, demons.
What, the cat?
Yes, because she and Starla don't get along I gotta go make sure Starla can't get in here. Oh, good. Starla can't get in here. Okay. Sorry, it would get ugly. We're gonna.
Does she slap the dog?
Yes.
And the dog doesn't like that.
Yeah. Yep. She does not like the big dog. She doesn't mind the little ones.
She walked in here, and as she walked in here, you know that like viral song that's also from like Madagascar that's like, I like 'em big, I like 'em chunky.
I was just singing that earlier. Oh, when we did the peanut butter.
You did. Maybe that's why I thought.
I didn't know what it
she
was
walks
from.
in and her Bermuda or her pouch is swinging. I like 'em big.
I like 'em chunky. Oh, I feel bad. I made her nervous, but I don't like. She and Star do not. She just doesn't like big dogs, and so even though like Starla was cool at first, now Starla knows she's going to run up to her, hiss and swipe, and so Starla's like, "Bitch, you bet not."
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I think Aleister Crowley sees them in the same way because he does summon demons as well as these deities. You know, and I mean. So let's get into some specifics about Mr. Crowley. I love that. That's one of my favorite Ozzy songs. That and Mr. Brownstone. But I love Mr. Crowley. And that song is definitely one of the reasons I'm aware of Aleister Crowley.
So my thing is, with Aleister Crowley, I always get him confused with Anton LaVey, and I know I'm not the only person, okay? Two totally different people from two totally different time periods.
Well, I know that I get Aleister Crowley mixed up with all the rumors about Aleister Crowley.
And that's what they are. Like,
they are, well, some of them are, because I'm guessing maybe, some of them are rumors. Like, he has nothing to do with Hotel California. He did not die trying to summon a demon and not finish the spell and leave an open portal somewhere.
His final words were not, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but like there is this like, it's not even a conspiracy. It's like a blatant lie that someone made up. That his last words were, I am perplexed. Satan, no, get behind me. Basically, we can say that was probably made up by someone saying, see, he went to hell. You know what I mean?
I mean, yes, and at the same time, because he was so much about the theatrics, could I see him doing it? Perhaps. He did believe himself to be the reincarnation of Horus. He did believe himself to be the Antichrist. So he did believe himself to have a relationship to Satan in a way, which makes me go, how much was he just rallying against his Christian upbringing? Well, I'm thinking he's rallying against his Christian upbringing, the amount that he brings Satan up while he's dealing with all of these Egyptian deities. You know what I mean? Like,
anyone to me that claims to be the reincarnation of a god is someone that I am absolutely not going to get behind or follow. Can you say cult? Like, how the fuck? I don't understand how these bitches continue to fall for this shit. Oh, I'm the reincarnation of this god, and I have to fuck your wife. Like, come on, guys. Come on.
And this is where some of the rumorship comes in.
Yeah, right? Like,
because, like, he played into a lot of the things with theatrics, right?
Right, so...
But then there's also the thing where, like, okay, so he went out into the desert with his, like, apprentice guy.
Right, I remember that.
Bad things happened. He was also, and this might be the guy that died, or there might be another one where he was doing something that, it was referred to as a sacrilegious rite, but that's from like a not Thelemitic standpoint, so it's not that he was being sacrilegious. If he was practicing a Christian rite, it would have been sacrilegious.
Right.
A lot of the things that he had in his writings were very much the opposite, like the inversion of Christian rites, okay? So, like, he's almost like the beginning of Satanism, but not, because it's not Satanistic. It's that he sees everything on one big spectrum, not this is bad and this is good.
Well, and the reality of the situation is Aleister Crowley is one of those, like we are discussing, that his workings, like Helena Blavatsky, right?
Blavatsky.
Whatever. Like I don't mean that disrespectfully.
No, you're
I
good.
just can't get
It's
it
a hard
out.
word to
Okay.
say.
Like
Robots.
Gerald Gardner, like Anton LaVey, like we're slowly evolving in the terms of like the spiritual, like so a lot of his stuff connects with like modern day Satanism,
a lot of
but
it
it also
connects
connects
with
Wicca
before.
as well, and before.
yeah.
You know?
Well, and there is a conspiracy theory that I'm excited to read more about as we get into Gerald Gardner next.
Mm-hmm.
That Gardner and Crowley worked together to write Wicca out of what Crowley had already developed in Thelema, and I could see that.
Yes, because so similar.
Wicca is like the organized religion version of what Thelema is starting to bring to the table.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
It's very much.
Well, I love these episodes because you can see the evolution of these things.
Well,
okay?
and it's interesting because, like, we talked about Miss Blavatsky and why not her? Why not does she know a secret society? Aleister Crowley didn't say he knew a secret society, but
which is unusual for these guys.
I'll keep listening. Apparently you didn't read this.
No.
His first book, he says, was given to him from a spiritual creature named, like, I was. It depends on how you want to.
Don't say it 3 fucking times.
I'm not saying it right. I'm not saying
we're not need a Beetlejuice situation.
But like from this spiritual entity, he was given this information.
Okay.
And I want to not believe that. However, as a writer, I know sometimes you be sitting there and you don't know where this is coming from.
Right.
You're just writing it. It's almost like you are a conduit for your muse or something, you know?
It happens all the time, yeah.
I know as a writer that that's possible. So, like, was it just his muse overtaking? And could his muse be a spirit that is, like, holy of some sort?
Or
and
was it
providing
his own self?
Exactly. It could be either. It could be a combination thereof. It doesn't mean that information didn't come from an otherworldly source. It depends on, I don't know. What do you think of that? Do you think he got the information from an otherworldly source? Or do you think that he researched Egyptology and created... Because his stuff, he made his own Egyptian gods up, basically. Like, the names match and
honestly, as someone who is a practicing witch and pretty, like, connected with their higher divine... Trying to be connected with their higher divine, I don't want to sit there and say, like, oh, I totally am. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's just fucking egotistical and ridiculous. But I am trying to continue to hold that connection and grow that connection. I woke up in the middle of the night, like I think you saw my posts. I don't know if you did. I woke up in the middle of the night 2 times to literally the words lapis lazuli going through my head 2 nights in a row. Why? I don't know anything about this crystal. I didn't even like. I don't even know.
My favorite.
I don't even remember how I fucking remembered the word lapis. I forgot it was even a fucking crystal. I didn't even know what color it was. And yet I woke up. Yes, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it because I had that dream. Or it wasn't even a dream. It was literally a voice. So if that could happen to me, and I'm convinced to go buy this crystal, I absolutely believe it could happen to Aleister Crowley.
And I mean, that could be your higher self, that could be your subconscious, or it could be an entity from outside of you.
Yeah. Like, could have been the dragon or a dragon. They're like, you know what I mean? Like,
it could be. I mean, so it's like, I want to not believe that with Aleister Crowley.
I can't, as someone who's experienced that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I know you've experienced
That's why
similar.
I'm like, that's why I'm like, I want
if
to
I
not,
call him crazy, I'm calling myself crazy.
I can't deny that that's a thing because I've experienced
Yes,
it,
exactly. That's totally different in my opinion than saying a secret society told me this. Like, this is a actual one-on-one connection with the divine.
Oh yeah, that's like when I start preaching, like, I am a conduit. I don't know what the fuck I've said after a point. And it's because Spirit is using me to get a message out there.
Do you get that with tarot readings too? Do you get that?
Oh, I'm definitely a conduit with tarot readings, and I do have that, but it's nothing like when I'm sharing the word. Like, and I know that sounds very much. It is the word. It is the word, and like that's
God. No, I'm just kidding.
If you want to call me God.
Do you have a second to talk about Amber? No, I'm just, just the way you said it was very Jehovah.
And that's why I said it that way, because I absolutely, but my point is, just because someone says the word, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a Christian
Everybody
thing.
just assumes, yeah.
Right, exactly, and that's not, but when I am a conduit for spirit, like, preaching that is so much more powerful, and that's, again, where I go, I can't discount what he's saying.
Exactly.
I want to be like, crazy motherfucker. And just like Blavatsky, like, why not her? Why does he not have a connection? Now, there are, like, I could be a naysayer and go, well, when you look at his writings, everything is basically like, it's not a mirror of Egyptology, but it is a blend, it is a big blend of Egyptology, Christianity, and Judaism, but in inversion of those things brought together in a way. But also, like, when you throw in his personal habits, he was a poet, and he wrote homoerotic poetry as a Muslim man. Like, that's who was writing these poems. And it feels very
like
offensive.
His pen name was a Muslim man?
So what he was writing, okay, so
that is offensive.
Right, it is. Like if you're Muslim and you're reading that, you're going to be offended as fuck, right? Okay, so the basis of what this book of poetry was, okay? It was writings that he came upon of this guy from the Middle East that were found by some English speaker that translated them. And this is what
my God,
he wrote that shit.
Wait, no.
Shit,
Can you imagine
Absolutely
if it really was translated and this English speaker's like pulling the biggest prank on his friend? He's like, oh no, he's like, tell them I said I'm not a fan of their tea. He says he wants to suck your D. Can you fucking imagine it being the biggest fucking prank?
Hilarious, but I truly don't. I mean, I don't. I love that. Now I want that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not what it was.
Aleister Crowley absolutely wrote all of it himself, but he didn't want people to be like, oh my God, you're gay. That's
gay.
Yeah, like he didn't want that. So it's like, oh, these are writings that I put together that were
from another man wrote this. A gay man. I'm not gay.
Because, like, one of the first poems or passages talks about dipping his pen into the inkwell was as ecstatic as something with Allah. And it seems very much to me
that's offensive.
Like Crowley is trying to offend from a standpoint of, like, making fun of this Muslim person, because I think especially then, but maybe even now, I don't think
that's Crowley.
That the Muslim religion allows that, right? So it's like, it's even more sacrilegious, and that is him.
That is him, and I think that's where the whole "I'm the Antichrist"
yes,
from.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to exactly, and that's where I go. Is this, like, did he really have, because I believe that that's possible. But because he has these other writings where he's like, oh, I didn't write that.
Just because you are a spiritual person and you have a connection with the divine doesn't mean you can't have a personality or a sense of humor.
Right, no, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, no. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think, like, so I do believe he could have that connection and still be a funny-ass guy. You know what I mean? And still
I do. I get that. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the fact that he already had produced at least, like, a couple of books of poetry where he's writing something and he's saying it's not me writing it, it does
I see what you're saying.
It does lead a little doubt into that, even though I believe
put it into that perspective.
That's my one problem, because I absolutely believe it's possible. But he's already hoodwinked people in the same way, but not with religion.
What I think Aleister Crowley was doing was what people are doing nowadays, which is sharing their spiritual journey. We just happen to have social media now. They didn't have social media. So what did he do? He wrote books. He wrote articles. He wrote poems. it is no different than the fucking person on TikTok that's like, I had this vision and this is what this means. We just have the network to share more often, which I think is also why he stood out so much back then, as opposed to nowadays people doing the same thing, creating their own religions, their own thing. They don't stand out as much.
Right, and you can say some crazy ass shit online and nobody cares because they're all doing it. But also, like, back then, nobody was doing that.
Exactly.
Nowadays, we've already been through the satanic panic. We've been through the new age 70s through the 90s. Mm-hmm. We've got all the oils, all the crystals, all the sage that you could buy from the kitchen section of Walmart and more.
Literally.
So it's like, that's just commonly. But back then, nobody did.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Exactly. It was the same thing.
Like you said, that's why
Helena
stood out.
Blavatsky.
We'll just call her Helena.
Yeah,
Helena P.
Thank you.
Helena P. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky.
Wait. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, I thought it was Blavatsky. Don't confuse me even more. It's Blavatsky.
Theosophical Society people refer to her as Helena.
Okay, we'll call her Helena P. There we go. Okay. So, like, anyway, I think these people, Helena P., Aleister Crowley, Gerald Gardner, Anton LaVey, we give them this godlike complex, or this godlike thing in our heads and in our books because they were the beginning of this, like, new age rise, okay? But really, I don't think they were that different than a lot of people now.
And I'm going to counter that with, I disagree wholly. And I think they very possibly were holy people. I think Gardner.
I think there's a lot of holy people nowadays.
I don't think Aleister Crowley. I definitely think Blavatsky. And I don't know about LaVey. I want to learn more about him. But I definitely, like, if Jesus had been around in the 1800s, we know a lot more about his little weird habits. And maybe he wouldn't be as revered. But there's 2,000 years of time to remove everything except the magic he worked.
Right.
And in 2,000 years, is anybody going to remember the weird predilections that Aleister Crowley had?
What I was saying
or are they going to remember that he was able to summon things with his magics? And people to this day claim they can summon things with the magics that Aleister Crowley wrote down. So, like, with the time removal, would he be seen as just some weirdo? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think,
he is now.
I would think that, when I say I don't think they're that much different than a lot of people nowadays, I say that in the sense that
That wasn't the part I was disagreeing with. It was
I'm sorry.
I was disagreeing with the other part where it's like, they're not that special. They're not that special because I think they are. You're fine. No, you're allowed to have these, like, different
you're right,
phrasings.
Because I should not have phrased it that way. What I meant to say was, I think there were more people like them than we know because back then there was no recordings. Unlike today, where there's a lot of people that are able to record and document their things. So I think it's very possible that fucking Tom from fucking 1920s really could do these things and perform miracles. But back then we didn't have the same access, that we have now.
Well,
whereas these people made sure to make themselves known,
But now people feel more comfortable speaking out about these things.
Because of them.
Yes, because, like, Tom in 1920, maybe he could lay hands and heal. Maybe he could summon the corn spirit when he needed it. Secret. Otherwise, they would have, like, lynched him.
Exactly. So
I don't know. I'm really enjoying this year. I'm glad we decided because, like, I only knew rumor about Crowley. Like, let's be clear.
Me too.
I didn't even know that Crowley, like, was memes that we see present day. And you guys
I'm so glad we did this episode because I was kind of hesitant with Crowley, but that's because of the rumors. And I knew when we did this episode, and I think I said in messages, we had talked like we were excited to do this to get rid of a bunch of rumors.
Yes.
So,
and to bring people to knowledge. Like, How many of you know who Aleister Crowley really is? Or do you only know about Crowley because of the show with the Hot Brothers?
I have no idea. Oh, Supernatural!
Supernatural!
Every time I say Crowley, I think of Crowley. He is the king of hell.
Right.
And where did that originate from?
Exactly.
Aleister Crowley. Love me
right.
some Crowley. You said the Hot Brothers. I was like, oh, I know what you talking
Yeah, I was like, I could not remember the name of the show, but I was
love Crowley.
I know that Crowley's a big part.
I love him in Supernatural. He is the king of hell. He can, he's got these hellhounds. He can summon demons. He's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and there's Ozzy's song, Mr. Crowley. Mm-hmm. There's Crowley from that. But how many people know about Crowley for real, or how many people think Crowley is like Anton LaVey, but he's not?
But he's not.
But he's not.
I get the two confused. I don't know why. I guess because they both start with A.
Maybe.
Anton,
Aleister. And Aleister is not his actual name. His name was like Edward Alexander. His family called him Alec. And then he went through a Celtic phase in like his teen years. Changed his name to Aleister.
What a fucking punk. But I'm loving the name Aleister, if I'm being honest.
I do like it. It's very... It's like Ambrose. Like, I love the name Ambrose. It's like the male version of Amber. I don't know if that's exactly right, but otherwise I don't know what the male version of Amber is. But, like, Ambrose and Aleister, they both have that same, like, we gotta put on our little, like, not top hats, but, like, the shorter than a top hat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Spin our cane with our nice gray suits on, walking around the streets of London. I could see it. Anyway, I don't know.
All right,
what do you guys think about Aleister Crowley? I'm super curious. Like, who came into this with, like, predisposed thought, or, you know, like, you thought something that was absolutely not true, just like we did when we came into this research. Like, I actually was expecting to like him more. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't dislike him. I'm just like, I think he was just kind of a show-off who wanted to be like, but he came up with some really amazing magics, okay?
I think he was a spiritual person that had, I think he had a big ego.
The fact that he didn't die summoning the demon and leaving an open portal, like, it really, I was
Is that Anton LaVey, though, or is that Aleister? That is Aleister.
That's a rumor about Aleister Crowley.
Okay, I was like...
And I was here for it. And it's not real.
Of course not.
But we want to know what you guys think. So let us know in the comments whether you're watching on YouTube, in which case go ahead and like and subscribe when you're there commenting, or listening on Spotify or Good Pods or any of those others. And again, like and subscribe while you're commenting and let us know what you think about Aleister Crowley.
You can find us on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Witches Talking Tarot.
You can find us on the X at Classiest Witches, because we are the classiest witches, you know. Just like Death by DVD.
Pam.
And Victoria, no. So they found us on patreon.com/Witches Talking Tarot. Did I already say the whole thing?
Yeah.
My bad. Anyway, find them there. So otherwise, thanks for coming to sit with us for a spell. Bye.